Thank you, councillors. Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to tonight's council meeting for the election of the mayor, and if resolved so by council, to elect a deputy mayor. So my name's Stephen Pearson, CEO of Latrobe City. So in accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act 2020, I'll be chairing tonight's meeting until the time of the appointment of the new mayor. So please stand for the opening prayer and acknowledgement of traditional owners for those in the room. So, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power and the glory are yours now and forever. Amen. And I'd also like to acknowledge that we're meeting here today on the traditional land of the Bryakalong people of the Gunai-Kurnai Nation, and pay respects to their elders past and present, but also pay respects to any elders who might be present with us virtually tonight, and acknowledge them. So may now be seated. As is allowed under the Local Government Act 2020, tonight's meeting will be live streamed as per our current meeting practices, and there is no public gallery. A councillor may attend in person or remotely tonight, and I welcome the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Gibson, the outgoing Deputy Mayor, Councillor Darren Howe, along with Councillors Lund, Councillor Clancy, Councillor O'Callaghan, Councillor Law, Councillor Middlemas and Councillor Harriman, who are here in person tonight, and we have Councillor Ferguson attending via audio-visual link. And so just as councillors would know, just wouldn't mind verifying that Councillor Ferguson, I think we did test earlier, can hear and see us and can speak.
I sure can, loud and clear.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. So in accordance with the governance rules, please be advised that the chair may order or cause the removal of any person, including a councillor, who disrupts any meeting or fails to comply with a direction. And so given all councillors are here tonight, there are no apologies. And also the Local Government Act regulations, Governance and Integrity Regulations 2020 also exempt councillors from having a conflict of interest in the matter of the election of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor, so there's obviously no declarations of interest required at this evening's meeting. And so I'll move now, councillors, to item 6.1, which is on page 7 of the agenda, which relates to the outgoing Mayor. So before we move to the mayoral election, I'd just like to give the outgoing Mayor the opportunity to, if she would wish, to say a few words. And you can do it at the lectern if you wish. I just need to get one of the team to before you start. And it would be preferable that it is limited to 3 minutes as per our governance rules, but make sure that's... And there's a little red button on it.
Is that good? Good to go? No.
No, get some IT assistance.
Sorry. Well, wrong button. All right. That was done on purpose, you know. All right. It's been a very eventful year, and I've had some real highlights. I was honoured to actually speak to have Maui in the seated mould, and I'm delighted that we got that through. That was one of my highlights. Establishing a bipartisan task force, transition task force, that has been another highlight of mine. Having the community champions in the actual express has been another highlight, and highlighting people who normally they do so much for our community, but they are the forgotten heroes, if you like. I'm delighted about the more open dialogue that we've actually worked really hard. The team and I have worked really hard about the open dialogue with the state and federal members, and as you would know, for the last 2 weeks our CEO and I have been having a lot of meetings with state and federal with the budget submissions. So there's some of the highlights that I've had. It has been a very trying 12 months. There was the ULAB's decision that went down. There was COVID. There was the storms and the flooding. Then there was more storms. was 2 phone calls I received that I wish no other mayor ever receives. One was our CEO on the death of his father, and the other one was a councillor who nearly died. And I hope nobody else ever has to receive those. But I was really heartened about how people pulled together with this community in such trying times. I think there's some that I really have to thank. My Deputy Mayor, CEO, a special thanks to Gracie Smith, and she'll be very embarrassed about that, sorry Gracie. Lauren and her team with comms. You know, we get calls at 6 in the morning to 10 at night. And the IT team, yes, they have been, all of them have been brilliant, and they have all pulled together with us all as a team. I thank you very much. I am proud, no matter what was thrown at myself and the team, that we kept on going. We didn't lose sight of what we were here for and trying to do the very, very best for our community. So thank you for my term as mayor, and I wish the next mayor and continuing mayors the very best. Thank you.
Back online. Thanks to the outgoing mayor. So it's not very often the CEO gets the opportunity to take the floor, so just wouldn't mind just making a few points. So I'd just like to firstly say thanks to the outgoing mayor and deputy mayor for their work over the past 12 months as we've navigated a 2021 together during some challenging times. As the mayor touched on, some of those challenges included obviously the continuation of the COVID-19 pandemic, storm and flood events both in June and November of this year, and the announcement of the closure of the Yallourn Power Station in 2028, or maybe a little earlier. And we also saw the opening, then the closing due to the pandemic, of some of our major facilities, the Gippsland Regional Aquatic Centre, Gippsland Regional Indoor Sports Stadium, Monash Reserve Netball, Tennis Pavilion, Courts and Pavilion, just to name a few. There's a couple of others. And we also saw, importantly, the development of a new community vision and council plan in partnership with the community this year. And amongst all of that, we also saw the continuation of most of our meetings in trying times through virtual means. So being a mayor and a deputy mayor and a councillor can at times, I've said this before, be a thankless task, and all the councillors should be proud of all the work that's been delivered over 2021. So I would like to say thank you to the mayor and deputy for their service, and we do have a small gift for each to provide. So Hannah will pass those around for me. So thank you to the outgoing mayor, Councillor Gibson. And the outgoing deputy mayor, Councillor Darren Howe. He doesn't get flowers, sorry. I did ask about that. So thanks to you both. Thanks, councillors. I'll now move to item 6.2 on page 8 of the agenda, which relates to the election of the mayor. So there is a recommendation on the top of that page in relation to council determining the term of office of the mayor, which can be for 1 or 2 years. So the proposed recommendations there before for 1 year, but should a council wish to move an alternative, happy to consider that. But if anyone would like to move the...
It's a bit low now. All right, I'm happy to move for the 1 year term. Thank you.
As per the recommendation. Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Do I have a seconder? So I need to remember to look up at the screen too. So, Councillor Howe, thank you. Has seconded that. Is the motion opposed? No. Does any councillor wish to speak? If no councillor opposed or wishes to speak, happy to call that carried unanimously. So the term of the mayor will be for 1 year. So the second part of is moving to the election of the mayor. So I now invite nominations for the appointment of a mayor for the next year. Do I have any nominations? Councillor Minimus. You
Since
can
I've been here.
Remove it when you're talking.
just make it,
Been a while since I've been in here, yes. I, Councillor Graham Middlemiss, nominate myself for the position of Mayor of Latrobe City Council. Thank you.
Councillor Minimus. Do I have a seconder?
Happy to second that nomination, Mr CEO.
Thank you, Councillor Harriman. Do I have any other nominations? Councillor Clancy?
Reading off the script as well, I, Councillor Clancy, nominate Councillor O'Callaghan for the position of Mayor of Latrobe City Council.
Thank you, Councillor Clancy. Not sure if I was actually meant to ask, does the do in this case, accept that nomination, Councillor O'Callaghan? I didn't need to in the first one. And do I have a second for that? Councillor Lund, thank you. So 2 nominations. Do I have any other nominations? Keep forgetting to look up at the screen, so there's no confirming. So no other nominations. Councillor, just the 2, Councillor Middlemiss and Councillor O'Callaghan. So at this point, normal practice is we do move to suspend standing orders in order for each of the nominated councillors to be provided with time to speak. So do I have a councillor who would wish to suspend standing orders? Councillor Lund. And a call for a seconder, Councillor Gibson. All those in favour? Thank you, councillors. So with standing orders suspended, I'll give the opportunity, and it's in, let me just remind myself, alphabetical order of surname isn't the normal protocol. Councillor Middlemiss, I think, comes before O'Callaghan. So Councillor Middlemiss, if you'd like to speak, you can, if you wish. And if you're speaking, if you so desire, you can remove your mask just to make it clearer. Make sure it's turned on.
It's on now, is it? Okay. Thanks, councillors. When I spoke to you for a few minutes at the last meeting, I mentioned what you see is what you get. I've been around for a long time. You all know me. You know my priorities. A desire to replace our employment base before our major industry is swept away by the environmental movement that's taking place at the moment. I'm very strong, as you're aware, on financial good management, and I think that's probably summarises me fairly well. The other issue, the other plank in my armoury, I suppose, is that I'm very keen to see the livability of our city improve. We've still got some way to go before we match the big 3 regional cities. But as if I was elected mayor, I would have only one vote on those issues. The real role of the mayor is to make sure that this council works cohesively, works together as a team for the betterment of our community. I have to choose my words carefully here, but it has been my observation that under the COVID lockdown for the past year or so, our council has become a little frazzled, and that's my word, I'll use it, a little frazzled in its operations, and I think we need to step back and reappraise how we work. So what I'm doing is offering myself as a unity candidate. I'm not with any particular block, but I believe that we need somebody who can pull us back towards working together. And what I'm proposing that, well, first of all, let me say that in any democratic process, there will always be differences of opinion. That's just part of democracy. But we must not allow those differences of opinion to become major issues. We can all work together, we can resolve issues and still get on with life. So what I'm proposing that is through process, any major issue affecting an individual councillor or group of councillors or staff, problems with officers, etc., be resolved prior to hitting the chamber by a process led by the mayor. So in other words, that we have a level of unity, we have the ability to work together, and we are able to take this city forward. So What am I? I suppose you could call me the unity candidate and the unity candidate for good governance. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Middlemiss. Now provide the opportunity for Councillor O'Callaghan to speak.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks to Councillor Middlemiss for his considerations. I just wanted to acknowledge the traditional owners upon whose land we are meeting this evening, the Brakalong people of the Gunno-Kurnai Nation, and pay my respects to the elders, past, present and emerging. Our communities put a lot of trust in us to lead in a thoughtful, a fair and a transparent way. As we enter into this second year of our term, I think we do so with a renewed opportunity to continue to engage with our community, as Councillor Gibson has indicated previously. And also forge ahead with our agreed work through our council plan, but also continue to explore new opportunities, including those with a focus on our local economy, our transitioning industries, but also our valued and highly skilled workforce. With the ongoing challenges that we've been facing as a collective community as a result of significant economic transition, our recent and distant emergency incidents, but also the persistent impacts of COVID, we face a time when trusted, respected and well-credentialed leadership is essential, and we offer that as a collective group. I've never taken for granted the overwhelming level of support that we do have as a group from our local community, and I know that as a council we can govern with a shared commitment for all that we represent and all the members of our community who want to see us do well as a group here in council, but also as a collective of communities that are diverse and have different perspectives. We continue to live in challenging times, and there is a level of volatility and polarised perspectives into a range of a number of things that impact not only our local community, but across our state and further afield, and we need leadership that is focused on bringing all of those views to the table, even when they are the most challenging of views, but creating a safe and a clear pathway for them to be explored. We also need to be able to continue to communicate in more diverse and contemporary ways, and this needs to be assured through clear and concise communications with our community. We need a space for dialogue that welcomes diversity, is respectful, is non-judgmental and safe, not only for our community, for our councillors and all of our stakeholders, but for our organisation, for our Latrobe City staff and our leadership team. We have an obligation to ensure our leadership is accountable, and this will ensure procedural fairness, and we all need to commit to upholding that standard. I think as we continue, along with our community, to see uncertainty and anxiety on a range of fronts, we also need to ensure that our community's aspiration, the great skill and experience that they bring, will see in us an opportunity to lead well in a respectful, trusted and safe way as we operate within an environment that's highly complex, legislatively often challenging, and has a significant level of governance expectation. As I have in the past, I put myself forward to my colleagues for your consideration based on my experience, my leadership in the past, but also my commitment to the role. I believe together we have the opportunity to share in working together and learning from each other in a constructive, collective and collaborative way. And as I said in previous years, and I believe this still rings true, we need to be a group that is held in safe hands, with a trusted voice in relation to how our community perceives us, but with clear and inclusive leadership. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, councillors. So we've heard from the candidates, and so I now ask for a resumption of standing orders. So to have a move of resume standing orders.
Happy to move.
Councillor Gibson, thank you. And a seconder. Councillor I wasn't sure if you were adjusting your sleeve or voting. Councillor Lund then. Thank you, Councillor Lund. All those in favour? All councillors have voted in favour of that, so call that carried. So now move to the procedure for putting the matter to the vote. So I'd ask for councillors to put that show of hands in terms of a positive vote in favour of Councillor Middlemas. So I have Councillor Ferguson, Councillor Middlemas, Councillor Harriman and Councillor Gibson. And all those in favour of Councillor O'Callaghan. So Councillor Law, Councillor O'Callaghan, Councillor Clancy, Councillor Lund and Councillor Howe. So given the absolute majority of votes has fallen to Councillor O'Callaghan, I declare you elected as Mayor. Congratulations, Councillor O'Callaghan. And yes, you can now take the chair and you can continue with the election of the Deputy Mayor, if Council resolves to have a Deputy Mayor. Welcome, Councillor O'Callaghan. So there are some notes there.
Just saying, I hope you've got notes because I didn't read them in advance.
There's nothing cheap there in
I'll see this.
Yep,
Okay,
you follow that,
thank
just the
you.
election of Deputy Mayor. So
Thank you, councillors. I think it's fair to say that I think that vote could have gone either way, and we would have been in equally trusted and good and safe hands with Councillor Middlemas, so I thank him for nominating himself as well. Thank you to my colleagues. Fortunately, there's a script here because it's been a while, so we'll work our way through. So we now move into the election of the Mayor. This is item 6.3 on your agenda. There's a recommendation to provide the establishment of the Office of Deputy Mayor for the 21-22 term. As is always the case, we consider whether or not we will have the position of Deputy Mayor within this term. So do we have any councillors that would wish to move that we do establish the Office of Deputy Mayor for this year? Councillor Middlemas moving, Councillor Gibson seconding. Any opposition? Assume everyone's in favour. Carried that unanimously, councillors. So on that basis, we will call for nominations. Nothing further there? Anyone? Councillor Gibson? No, I'm sorry, you're stretching. I thought you were nominated. Councillor? If you wish. So calling for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor. Do you have a nomination?
just turn your microphone on. Take the mask off. Just need to turn it on a little bit.
It's been a long time since we've been in here. I do apologise.
We don't know how to work the equipment and we're not really sure about following the agenda on a piece of paper.
Sorry, Councillor Lund would like to nominate Councillor Clancy for position of Deputy Mayor.
Okay, Councillor Clancy, you accept that nomination? Thank you, Councillor Clancy. Is there a seconder for Councillor Clancy's nomination? Councillor Law. Do we have any further nominations for Deputy Mayor? Oh, I'm so sorry, Councillor Ferguson. Yes, Councillor
That's
Ferguson,
okay.
my apologies. I'm totally discombobulated with where I am in the room.
Yeah, no worries.
You're nominating yourself?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have Councillor Ferguson is self-nominating. Do I have a seconder for Councillor Ferguson's nomination, please?
Happy to second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Harriman. Do we have any further nominations for Deputy Mayor at this point, councillors? No? Okay. We don't normally have the opportunity for the Deputy Mayor nominees to speak, so we move directly to the vote. Those in favour of the nomination of Councillor Clancy, by raise of hands. Those in favour? Councillor Howe, Councillor Lund, Councillor Clancy, Councillor Law and myself. On the basis of that vote, consider Councillor Clancy duly elected. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Councillor
Madam
Clancy.
Mayor.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Councillor Ferguson. So do we require on that
Yep.
basis? Or did you need the completeness of the vote because of the
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
hand?
Hannah, do you need?
You don't need the
vote?
completeness of a second vote, do you?
No.
No, okay, didn't think that was required. Okay,
Is the close of the meeting.
okay. Councillors, we now move through just to the close of the meeting, as we don't have any further business. There's all these different options we have here.
Don't need those, Madam Mayor.
We'll leave
They're
it.
all gone, yep.
So on that basis, we will move to close, or we're closed. That's it.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank you
much.
very much, everyone, and we look forward to working with you all into the next 12 months. Good evening.
Congratulations.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Ms.